Hey guys, welcome Musky Road Rules podcast and Patreon. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining us each and every week as we talk about musky topics, fishing topics, and if you're really lucky, I give you some life advice that I would not follow. Guys, it's real easy just to join the Patreon. And right now, if you sign up as a new member, I don't even know what that last word was, a new member, you get entered into the drawing that's going to be done on December 1st, December 1, 12/1. And whoever wins of the new members will receive one of the new double flap tails from Bomb Squad. Super cool. He's only making a limited number of these. So if you sign up for the Patreon, and here's the deal, guys, it's $8 a month. You can cancel anytime, but if you sign up for that $8, you get every podcast that we've ever done this year on there, and you also get into the drawing for that bait. And if you don't win, you can easily cancel after December 1st. It doesn't matter to me, but you can definitely get in. And like I said, it's $8 to join. And you can cancel anytime, or you can stay on and you can listen to all the cool stuff we're doing on here. And I'm going to do more drawings, so you'll be entered to win. And it's literally $8 a month to get entered for this stuff, and you might win something pretty cool. So on this week's podcast, I got an old returner and a new guy. I have Mike Conklyn now they are what you turn up your thing. They both muted
microphones
themselves.
On now?
Yes, microphones on. I got Mike
Okay,
Conklyn
Greg.
and Gus Mantey. I told them to mute because they kept talking, and Gus is loud, so I told him to do that. But these guys, we're going to be talking this time. Mike, he's from Conklyn Lures. Not sure if how many of you guys have used him or not, but Mike's got a pretty cool looking glide bait that's kind of unique that I think is pretty cool. And then Gus has actually fished them and has some things to say about it. And we're also going to get kind of a year-end review from Gus of how things were up there in the Eagle River area. So we've got a lot of cool stuff here for you tonight. And like I said, make sure you check out Patreon. Go to patreon.com and sign up, and you'll be entered to win that flap tail, that double flap from Bomb Squad. So pretty neat little dealio there, just in time for Christmas. Mike, how you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm setting up here in the northwest angle where there's no snow. There's just mud. Water's
You're
still
going to
open.
get snow.
Well,
you're going to get snow, huh?
I hope. Well, we were supposed to. They were saying, we're going to get snow tomorrow, but now we're supposed to get nothing, and they're supposed to get 6-7 inches south of us, and we're just going to continually have mud and stuff here. So, but I think Gus, you're going to be very proud of me. I made it right to the end of the season, my very last day, and I went out with a bang, literally, because my motor blew up on the very last day.
So proud
of the season. Oh,
it wouldn't be a Gregg Thomas season without something blowing up or.
No, I love it. It's like, yep, here we go. I guess we're done.
Would you wait this time 1,000 hours before your next oil change or what?
No, I started using sunflower seed oil in it, and I thought that would do a really good job because you never see a sunflower sad, and yeah, it's I was very sad.
Sad.
yeah, I was the only one sad on this one, but we'll see how she goes. I don't know. Hopefully it's not too bad of a stinger.
Well, they got through the season, though, at least.
It did.
On the bright side.
One of the first times it's ever got through the season and blew up. Most of the time it's right in the middle of it and then I'm negotiating with nefarious people that smell like oil and regret.
And doing bad things.
Yeah. It smell like oil and GEDs. And it never works out good for anyone involved. So Mike, let's talk about this. What got you into musky fishing? Before you even talk about the lures, do you musky fish, and what got you into it?
Yes, I do musky fish. I've been musky fishing for about 37 years.
Nice.
Yeah, my dad got me going on it. We've been fishing since I was a little kid, and we kind of dabbled into the musky fishing world before it was really popular. And so that just kind of grew and grew and grew, and loved it. Didn't do so well, but I did love it. I still do. So
trust me, I know. I think that's the story of everyone that starts out in this. So where are you from, and then where did you start your musky fishing?
Okay, so I was born in northern Wisconsin. I was there for about 10, 11 years. We moved as a family down into the central part of the state here where I currently am, and picked up musky fishing while I was living in Stevens Point here, but we did it up north slowly. We started going to the Minocqua area and then branching out from there. So we'd hit a spot every 3-4 years and then move to another spot and whatnot. So the amount of lakes in my bank of lakes is huge. It still is. I still go. I try to hit new lakes. It's getting harder to find new lakes that I haven't been on.
Sure.
But yeah, and then I moved. My wife and I got married. We moved down to the southern part of the state in Kenosha, and I was down there for almost 20 years, and then we decided to make the move back. So now we're back in the central part of the state.
Okay, are you back in the Stevens Point area?
Yeah. Yep. Yes.
Okay. Good deal. How big was your first muskie, and what was it on?
40-inch on live bait on a sucker.
Jesus,
First fish was 40. Then I got a 36 that same day, and then I didn't touch another fish for a year. So that's how it goes.
Yeah, well, it sounds about right.
Yeah.
But that's cool. That's pretty awesome. What lake did that come out of?
That came out of Lake Mohawkson, part of the Wisconsin River, right in Tomahawk.
Gotcha. Gotcha. That's Brian Schaefer's area. I know Brian fishes that a lot.
Yeah, that's where a lot of my teeth got cut out there. My musky teeth got. That's where we spent a lot of weekends.
Sure. So, what got you in to the bait deal?
I couldn't find anything that I liked that I needed to do. So the lakes that I fished in southeastern Wisconsin were very weedy. And I just talked with some friends, and it got into like modifying baits. So we just take a bait here, bait there, cut it apart. It really, kind of ballsy to take a $20-$30 bait and just destroy it to play around with it. But I wanted something that I could, the fish would hang out in the pockets in these massive weed flats. They're just huge. Well, I think you've been in that area, Greg, and Pewaukee, stuff like that. And you just got to hunt and find the holes. And so I wanted something that could work in the hole and just keep it back and forth. And that's when I came out with my original glitch, which was probably, it's been like 19 years now that I've been making it.
Okay.
And then it just walks side to side in it very short amount of space. So I could work it over the top of 6 inches of water over the weeds, and then just hang it in that pocket and pop it back and forth and pull those fish out of there. So
let's see that bait there you're talking about. Where is Gus? Oh, no, sorry, Gus.
Don't put me on the big screen. Stop it.
Hold on. Gus is mad because he hit puberty about 6 weeks ago. He's got a pimple. He's getting hair in places that it's never been, and it's itchy. It's a whole thing.
And his voice
everywhere
is changing
except my
too,
forehead.
So.
Yes.
Don't feel bad.
So that's just your original glider right there.
This is the original one. Yep, it's all solid maple. And it's perfect. It's a slower presentation, definitely. It works a lot slower, a lot tighter action. It doesn't do a wide glide. It is more like a twitch bait. It's just going to kind of pop left and right and just stay within, maybe a foot, 10 inches of path. the other thing too is it worked because a lot of the baits I were using, a lot of glide baits that I did enjoy, had a wider glide, and the fish would swing and miss. And we've all had that. I wanted something to see if I could make a little bit better hookup percentage, and I think I found it because this thing really doesn't glide; it just darts back and forth.
Sure. How did you get hooked up with Gus? Found this number on a rest area.
Yeah, I think so. So no, I don't. Gus, how did we?
Shows?
Probably. Yeah, probably just some shows.
Angle Tinder.
I feel like the first time I met you is when I shook your hand in person at the show.
At the show, yeah. Yep. We talked back and forth, but yeah, yeah. The first time we met was at a show a couple of years ago.
Yep.
So it's kind of right there. Yeah. I mean, I've never. I think I told you, Greg. I don't run pro staff. I kind of just let everybody have at it, and I want people that want to use it. I don't feel giving it away, and you get false reports and stuff like that. So,
no, I get it.
I love it that these guys are buying my stuff, and then turns around, use it, and has success with it. That's the best part of it.
So now the other, which is the bait that I think is kind of cool, is the pedigree one that you make.
Yes.
With the blade out. Now,
with
Gus,
the blade up the back.
Yes. Sure. Is that one that you like, is the pedigree?
Yes, that's the one that I would throw the most. This blade's actually, it used to be white. Now it's silver. But yeah, this is the pedigree that I've really enjoyed working because I am not like a big time glide person. Like I don't own hundreds of glide baits. So when I saw this with the blade off the back, that's the first one I've really seen with that. So I had to grab that and add that to the arsenal.
And there is, so what, Mike, what made you do the blade off the back? I've always thought in the back of my head, this was something that should have been done, and it would work. I'm sure you went through different blades and stuff because the blade is acting kind of like a parachute back there, and it's going to stop the momentum, and you need the right kind of spin to, like, you still want it to spin, but yet the bait still has to glide, and I'm sure there was a whole lot of screwing around with this, but how did it come about?
So I was asked by a local. So when I moved to Stevens Point, there's a local bait shop, Taps and Tackle, in town, and talked with them, and they started kind of putting my lures on their shelves. And one of the owners was like, "Hey, do you ever think about doing a soft tail or how about like this?" And he showed me like maybe like a blade on the back or something different. And I'm like, I've been playing around with like a rubber tail, and I don't know. I just wasn't a big fan of it. I kind of like having the hook on the back. I always have. But I decided, I'm like, yeah, let's go try the blade situation. And like exactly what you said. I mean, it's just a lot of playing around to get the right blade, the right size blade. And in fact, if you notice on Gus's, he's got a hatchet blade. And on this one, I've got like what they call the whiptail blade. And that makes a huge difference.
What is that blade called?
It's called the whiptail blade. Yeah, and the one hatchet that Gus has, Gus has a hatchet. So the only reason I switched is because sometimes in the density of the wood changes every so often. And if I put a regular hatchet blade on there, it just doesn't work right. It'll still glide a little bit, but there's a little hiccup. And if I switch it to a thinner blade, it takes care of it, and it brings it right back to life. It is crazy how little different the blade
Have you
makes.
noticed a difference with like painted blades versus non-painted blades?
Honestly, I think so. This year, I'm most likely going to go just straight non-painted. I know guys love adding that flash of color on the back. Yeah, because I think there is a difference in weight definitely the painted blades get a little heavier. And
Yeah. I've seen a difference just in bucktails and other things. Is that little bit of extra that paint does seem to make a difference. Now you sent me some videos here of the bait, the pedigree there in the water. So we're going to bring this up and let you look at. That's not it, and there it is right there. Now this is from the bait from the top, and that's some really clear water.
That's in a pool. Yep.
Exactly.
So,
I filmed one of these one time. I've never been yelled at a YMCA as much in my life. We were doing it.
You're not supposed to do it naked, Greg.
No. We were filming for a Road Rules. This dude was pissed. And I'm throwing baits on the side, and there was kids swimming on the other end. So we were filming underwater, and I didn't realize I was filming the children underwater. And the baits were moving.
Greg.
Oh, it was bad. And one of the dads, I mean, that guy, wow, he was fired up. Yeah, that was an interesting day. I just blamed Tony and went with it. And of course, I had Stella there, cross-eyed. He can't.
Oh God!
Yes, it didn't go.
They
well.
saw your crew and they're like, "Uh-oh, yeah, no.
Oh, yeah,
these guys got to go."
These guys have a website that do not. This video is going to
doesn't line up with Musky.
No. Well, if you search Musky, you'll get some websites that are weird anyway. Or you used to. But from the top there, you can see that it rocks. Really cool. And that's something kind of new with, I know glide baits have been doing that for a little while, but that rock, I find really neat. The blade still kind of wiggles back there. Mm-hmm. Was that rock or that pause like that? Was that a happy accident, or
that was a complete happy accident? Yep.
Nice.
I'm going to be honest with you. My original glitch, that was a happy accident because it was the first time I built it and tried it, and it worked immediately. And I'm like, oh, okay, that was fairly easy. So I thought I'd have a little easier success coming up with the weighting system for the pedigree, and that would turn out to be a little harder. But yeah, the happy accident is definitely that wobble on the fall.
Yeah, no, that gives you a pretty significant one there. Now this guy here's from the top. You can see. I mean, the pedigree looks like it really glides side to side. I mean, it ain't just like a little.
It does. Like I said, it's going to stay within that 10 inches from center, left to right. It does. It's not like a manta or a warlock. Any of those ones that put fins on, that's just to stabilize it, and it drags it way out to the left, way out to the right. There's nothing wrong with those at all. They're all good baits. That's just I didn't want to have it glide too far because I think the fish either get hypnotized by it or when they decide to commit, you're starting to jerk it the other way and they just miss it completely.
Sure. No, I get that. But, I mean, it has great action. Gus, in your experience using this bait, what's like some tips you would tell people, rod length? It looks like this has got a wire leader. I like wire leaders on glide baits. What would you advise?
So definitely don't want to use too heavy of a rod. I know Mike will have his setup, which is probably slightly different than mine. I know I've used like an 8.6 heavy with it. I did just get a glide bait rod specific this year that I've really liked. It's like an 8'2" heavy moderate fast. That's been nice. I've dabbled with like high speed and like a moderate speed reel, but with this, so some glide baits I like to do 100% with the reel. Some glide baits I like to do a little bit of rod taps with this pedigree. Because of the way Mike made it, I think the fact that it does do some random things out there, I prefer to do rod taps myself as you're kind of chopping the reel. That way it can go left to right, and then every once in a while it can get really squirrely and that blade can flare up and then you let it fall. I don't know. I like that with the smaller. I tend to do more rod taps with the smaller glide baits that I use. So that's what I kind of went right to with this pedigree, and also just from use and abuse, it was, using this word again, happy accident that the white hatchet blade went to just pure silver, and I tend to use glide baits way more on sunny days, and I love that flash. The fact that you can get flash and the belly roll and the wobble and the drop, I think that helps a ton on sunny conditions when throwing this type of glide bait.
Yeah, I actually have went to a little softer rod for smaller glide baits, and I feel a softer rod. I've actually got it's an old St. Croix prototype of a 7.3 that I can work down, and
like a medium heavy, or is it still a heavy?
Does
it just have like a moderate action? It's
just a moderate action. It works great for the ones that you have to hit. So
that's what I got, was the St. Croix lipstick. I think is what it's called. It's like a specific glide bait rod, and I've actually really liked it.
Sure. Yeah, this was one that I used. I mean, it works great for any 6-inch glide bait. It actually works really nice for, I still really like the Squircos, and it works good for them. And it's just not super heavy. There's a little bit of give to it, so you can make that bait really jump. I love any glide bait. Now, the ones you can work with your reel are great. I think they're really good for cover and water. It's a complement to a bucktail. But I grew up, again, 30 some years ago. I mean, I grew up, my original glide bait I threw was a reef hog. And you never knew what the hell direction that thing was going to go.
Exactly.
I mean, and I caught a lot of fish on those. And I really liked the randomness of that. And then it got into the more, where I'm from, Jack Cobb, the Cobb baits in West Virginia, and then the Hughes Rivers and stuff. The stuff that came out of West Virginia there, which was kind of the leader in the glide bait market for a long time, and the guys that really, dialed in the whole glide bait thing, and where they got to where you could use them with your reel. You didn't have to hit it as hard as you would with like a reef hog or some of the early glide baits. And personally, I still like to hit it some because I think that erraticness is a huge trigger for these fish.
Yeah, a lot of people have a preconceived notion on how they think a bait's supposed to work. They want that left to right all the time, and I think you need to throw in something to break it up. So.
Sure. No, I mean, if for any of you guys out there, if you're listening, or if you're used to throwing reef hogs, you're probably in an old age home right now, or your grandson is telling you what I'm saying. They used to jump around all over the place, and a 6-inch reef hog was such a cool little bait. That whenever my old tournament partner Groucho, when we fished together before he passed away, he threw it shit. Hell, we got a second place on Eagle River chain once on the black 6-inch reef hog, years and years ago. So yeah, I mean, it just such a great bait. We got big fish at Eagle River one time on a 6-inch reef hog in the PMT with a 42-incher. That got big fish for the tournament.
Unbelievable. Doing chain things.
Yeah, and scattering rice. We got it. But no, it's I like the fact that you do have to hit it some to give it that erraticness that you're talking about. And you sent me a video. You said this is of Gus. Hey, Gus, is this you?
This is me.
What rod is that? That looks like a nice rod.
That's the other one that I used when I said 8.6. Oh, that's a medium heavy. That's a Legend Elite St. Croix medium heavy 8.6.
La Ti Da.
Yeah, that's my That's my other favorite glide bait, small glide bait rod, and then like Little Bastard, Dr. Evil, small topwaters.
So this right here, it looks like, what are you fishing here? I don't care where, but is this a river?
Channel between lakes. I saw this fish in like 2 feet of water. Pretty much sight fished this thing down.
Okay.
It was taking in a jig and inhaling it and then spitting it out before I could set the hook. So that's when I went to the glide bait. And
what time of year was this?
September. So they're kind of pushing around the lakes into like super stupid shallow water, and I think they were traveling between lakes.
Yeah, and it looks like there's some weeds up there. Up
thin line of old milfoil. You can see the sand, thin line of like old milfoil, and then it's like the trough of like the channel where the boats go through.
Yeah. So you can see this little dude here. You got it moving, and you can see you got him fired up. And it's not like he inhaled it or anything. He just kind of nipped it and allowed you to get a hookup on it there. In this deal, you can see the bait really isn't jumping super far side to side. So I do like that.
No, but it's enough to get that fish to move a lot like that.
Yeah, no, I mean,
yeah, and he's not overly chasing it one way or the other.
No, yeah, you can see. I mean, because that's the thing. I mean, when you first start throwing glide baits, you think it's so cool. You're like, oh, he was going side to side. It was like a cobra, and then but it doesn't bite.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's like hypnotized behind her.
Yeah. No, that's totally it.
I think in that setup I had that day, it looked like I had a lower gear ratio reel. When I was talking about, I've used kind of both. I've sometimes liked a slightly lower gear ratio, kind of in that 6 or even under
6.3. 6.3. Yeah,
6.3 to 1. And because I have used like the high speed ones, and if you are not careful, you can overwork them and over chop. And before you even do your next twitch, you already reeled up too much line, and your slack management is way off. And that's what's key with.
That's exactly what's key, and I think that's the biggest problem I think most people have with any glide bait is that they don't feed it slack line. You actually have to feed your rod tip back to the lure, as I say, because you need to create that slack line. So some people are like, oh, you can't work it fast. Well, you can. You have to get it down right. You Gus, I think you can. I mean, you get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
You chop it hard enough, but you get that slack line back in there, and that's all you need. So.
Well, I also think we're in a, guys are spoiled with glide baits that don't have to work.
Yeah. I was just about to say, just because it's like the tiniest bit more technical of a glide bait to work than others, people can get turned off. But honestly, I think that's what sets these types of glide baits apart from, I mean, yeah, like a hellhound's great, but it's so damn easy to work, and I don't think it works all the time.
You have to get on it quick, too.
Yeah, you got to get on it quick and stuff. And there's nothing wrong with those baits, but there is a difference. There's 2 categories of glide baits, right? There's ones that you have to tap. This bait, I put the reef hogs, the squircos, those style baits. You have to hit, you have to work, and that's the thing. So I think there's times for both. Like I said, I think like the Hellhound, the Phantoms and stuff, they make a great complement for bucktails. You can work them as fast as you want. Hell, you could troll them if you like. But the other thing is these, you're going to get the same repetitive action where with a, with a bait like this, a reef hog, a squirco, you're going to get the very erratic action of, I don't know what the hell it's going to do. And sometimes that can be the key.
Yeah, that's what the
tough
fish
bite,
needs sometimes.
Tough bite in springtime. I like this one in the springtime.
Yeah. And you said you got a new one coming out there, Mike?
Yeah, it's kind of to suffice my Minnesota friends. They've been asking for a bigger version of it, so I came out with an 8-inch, and it's thicker, so it's weighted a little heavier, but it doesn't run any deeper. You can run it deeper and slower, but you can also, I mean, it's been used a lot this year in shallow rivers, and they keep it up, and it's been catching some good fish. But I think the size quality on the fish is much bigger this year.
Okay,
and I've been,
and that one,
this thing I've been running for. Yeah, this is the bigger one, but this will be the third year I've just finished up with using it. So,
okay, and is it
I
slower?
don't just make them and release them. No, it can be. It's easier. I think it's a different beast altogether. It's a little bit easier to use, in my opinion. But yeah, you can work it fast. You can work it slow. The slower you work it, the deeper it runs. You can keep it up in that top 3 feet of water, no problem.
Oh, my dog just farted.
Gross.
Sure
it wasn't you.
It could have been. I don't know. Things happen. I'm getting old, Gus.
Leaking?
Old. Yes. I'm getting old. It's end of the year. Things hurt. Now, Gus, let's talk about this. Your year, are you still fishing? You still guiding, or are you just fishing on your own?
Guide season officially finished last week. I'm still fishing on my own. Lakes are still open, but we're about to get the mega cold blast, and I think that's when the boat is going to go into storage.
Yeah,
right where it is all year, but just winterized.
Yeah. What? Let's talk about 2025. How was it? And let's talk about maybe some of your better lures or patterns that worked for you.
Sure. Overall, 2025 was a even better year than the previous years. We caught more fish and a bigger size average, which is tough to do sometimes. And we fished probably, I was looking at my notes, just about the same as last year. So dialed in a lot more lakes, found some new ones like I normally do every year. And also on some of the lakes that I've always fished up here, started putting like nicer fish into the boat. I think it was just a product of when to fish a lake and, how to approach it. Like if you're doing midsummer, like hit it hard, hit it for a couple hours. If they're not going, peace out. A lot of running and gunning with bucktails and rip and rubber was the main way to get them midsummer and one of the highest producers. Number 2 was probably a Ninja tube, but number 1 easily was a Medusa, and specifically the regular sized with the shallow weighted, because I through and through, I love shallower systems. I like weedier systems. I like darker systems, and I like when they bloom up. I like when they, the tannic water, the green water, the, darker stained waters, and popping a Medusa over a shallow cabbage can be a lot of work on a given day. So the shallower weighted one, if you can bend the harness correctly to pretty much get it to walk side to side and glide all over the place, is the biggest key that I found. I mean, this thing, the Medusa alone, we caught multiple over 47 just on that, just from ripping it through shallow weeds. It was pretty awesome to see like what they would do for these things. It seemed like the harder you ripped them and got them through those weeds, the more they'd chase after them. And I don't know if it's the pull of the 3 tails on this one. I had a decent year on bulldogs. Those are always good too. And tubes were good when I kind of was walking them off the edges and going a little bit deeper. But for whatever reason, there was just a probably 4 to 6 week period, dead nuts in the middle of the year, where a Medusa was glued to my rod. It did cool off a little bit towards the end of the season, but then we just started working them a little bit slower and getting them to go. So that was.
How do you go about tuning it?
So fairly simple. Some of them I'll even bend upwards if need be, but pretty much I will do the nose down with it, but I don't want them to dig a ton. Like I want to be able to rip it really hard with the shallow weighted and also still not blow it out of the water. most of the time, actually, the bending of the bait is to make sure that it's not just going one direction to the left. And, for the most part, if you're able to buy them in person, you can kind of see from the bottom of the bait if they're lined up correctly. And usually if they're lined up on the bottom where the hooks are, they'll run great right out of the box. But if they're not, you might have to do a little bit of some bending. With the Medusa, I know some people are like, oh, it's rolling and this and that, but it's just a couple bends away from getting it to run right. And usually once it starts getting chewed too, I'm all good with that. And I used to actually boil my Medusa tails and nothing else. Now I don't even do that. I actually like having them be slightly stiff. I feel like having them pull harder, and also when they have that, they stall out in the water a little bit better too. Mm-hmm. With the tails being super soft, the bait will just start to dive really quickly, which 100% there's times a year for that. When the fish are keying in on like super hard nose diving baits, that's when I go to a tube or a bulldog. But when I want this to just be ripped hard in their face and flutter and sit there, it's the Medusa every time.
Sure. All right. Well, good deal. What else have you got?
So through and through, which was surprising in June, still this Huntsy tail banger did really well. And normally I'd think, July through September would be when it would crush, but actually this thing caught some incredibly nice fish in June even as well. This one in particular, I don't think it's a color that he makes. I've been talking with Kyle Hunter, the maker of this bucktail, and we're going to come out with this as another show color for myself this season. It's got an orange dangle blade, and then the front blades, well, it kind of shows up golden here. It's worn down to pretty much silver, but it's a golden orange front blade. Skirt used to have some black in it, but now it's pretty much white tinsel, gold tinsel, and orange. And it sounds kind of gross, but it did decent in clear water. But man, in stained water, this thing was absolutely dynamite. Sunny conditions, low light conditions, darker days. These things absolutely demolished fish. The 7/8 is his staple and probably, the easiest to throw, easiest to reel in. I had people throwing that a lot this year, and it caught some really nice fish. Also, this jet black one, the darker, like the more lakes bloomed up later in the year, the more I gravitated towards this. I think he calls this like the ghetto shiner. You might have named it, Greg.
Yes, I did.
Yes, love this color. As soon as I knew you named it too, I'm like, yeah, I gotta grab that black nickel everything and black skirt. But on top of that, he's coming out with a newer banger that he had some of us prototype and test. And I want to say I got it in like mid-July, and I threw it here and there. I don't think I gave it its true run time. And then I'm like, I started doing better on bigger blades. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to throw this thing around. It's an 8-10 combo, double skirt in size. And I started throwing it around more in August. And then the first fish I got on it was a nice upper 30s tiger that just demolished it out in the cast. I was burning it hard over weeds. He's got the double weight in there, just like his 7/8 XLs. And you can see kind of the offset of those blades. Same dangle blade in the back. And that fish absolutely crushed it. And I love the way that he weights this. As soon as I needed to get these off of some deeper weed edges, like you could slow down, and this bucktail you could be reeling in at like 7-8 feet down if you really let it get down there. And at the same time, you could burn and churn this thing over, 1-2 feet if you want to. And then after that tiger, that was the first fish on it. I don't toss the number around, but I was with my brother and my buddy Brian. The second eat on that lure was probably an inland 50, if not 49. Lost it at the boat. It ate way out in the cast too. It ate it like it's never seen it before. And the only reason we really know it was probably that big is because about an hour later, my buddy Brian got his PB 48, and we looked at that in the net, and I looked at my brother and I'm like, That other one might have been bigger. But no, it continued to crush, and September was the month of that. And then for whatever reason, as the water cooled down, they turned back to the 7.8 and 7.8 XL. So
no, well, that's pretty cool. Is that the one Clayton and Nick were throwing over at Cass?
Probably. They got theirs in the tournament on an 810 prototype as well. Okay. Clayton did. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought that he was telling me, that they got it on a
copper
prototype.
chameleon, I think was the color, which I think Kyle will have. I don't know. He makes some pretty sweet colors. The one that's going to be the show color, the new one for myself, was actually an accident. It was just a hodgepodge that he put together. I got this one at a banquet. It's the first Huntsy tail I owned, and I'm not going to lie, when I picked it up off the table, because I wanted one, it was the only one left. I'm like, this is kind of an ugly color, but I'm going to grab it. And it started catching, and the more fish it caught on it, the more I seemed to like it. And now it's a color that's become a staple. I mean, wow, that's why I kind of showed you the two that caught the most for sure. The jet black, and then this gold orange white one. Just a different contrast.
Sure. No, I get it. No, those baits have been really good. I've caught some nice fish this year on them, and I like it. My dog is trying to eat its bed, and he's not.
Did you? It. So what? When did you use them, and what size did you tend to throw?
I threw. Personally, I like the 8.9.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the 8.9 was really cool. Caught a few on the 10. Actually, on Cass, I had the 9.10. That was, and I lost a fish on that. But I lost a fish on everything on Cass, so don't feel special, Huntsy. And then he made me some double skirt small blade. So is it like the 7.8s?
7.8 XL if it's got two skirts.
Yeah, with double skirts. I caught some fish on that. I got one evening on the woods. We got a 45 and 48 on it in just a matter of 20 minutes.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, that's my favorite burning one. If you want to burn but keep them small blades, that 7.8 XL is awesome.
Yeah, no, I think he's made a lot of really cool stuff. I've been making some of my own, kind of taking some of his ideas and playing around on my own and stuff with some blades, and I did well with those. And but no, it makes a really cool bait if the fish are looking for something they haven't heard before. It's definitely something to play with and to try. Mike, what? How was your year?
Pretty shitty, actually. It was rough for me.
Yeah,
I know that feeling. I started the year out really good. At opening weekend, one day I just went up and got two. One really healthy. It was 42, really fat. And then I did a lot of fishing this year on the river section, the Wisconsin River that runs about 6 miles from my house, and it was a very off year for me. A couple here, a couple there, bucktails, and then the fall kind of picked up a little bit on glides, and then I capped it off with one yesterday. I was out yesterday with my dad and got one casting. So they didn't want to touch the meat, but we got a casting, which is always better.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. I talked to a couple of guys that actually listened to the podcast that my last day on DL caught a fish. The water was 35 degrees casting.
Yeah,
and
it was 38. They don't feel that, you don't really feel the hit. It just feels like mush, and they don't put up a whole lot of fight at first. But when you get to the boat, then they kind of go crazy. So.
Yeah. Don't get in the white van. That's exactly what they do. Mike? Where can somebody buy your baits? If I want to buy a Conklyn lure, What do I got to do? What's the password?
The biggest, easiest way to get it is come to the Wisconsin Musky Expo held in Wausau every year. I have a booth there, and they generally they don't last long. The last couple of years I've sold out in minutes, which is really, really eye-opening and awesome experience. I'm very grateful for that. I do have them in stores. The Taps and Tackle in Stevens Point, Jenks Bait and Tackle in Hayward, and Ross's Sport Shop in Phillips.
I love Jenks Bait and Tackle. I mean, that to me is the perfect bait store. You go in there, it looks like you're going to get bit by something. I mean, it looks like that. I love it. There's like pegboard that you pull and move, and there's stuff's behind it. There's dust everywhere. It looks like that you should be. If you're not a smoker, he gives you a cigarette when you walk in the door. I love it. I think it's definitely one of my favorite places.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just, it looks like you should be smoking. When you're in
you got to be, unfortunately, you got to be quick.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. So I give them like two shipments a year, one in the spring, one in the fall.
Sure.
I'm very limited because this is not my full-time job. This is a hobby, got a family life, got a full-time 40-plus hour a week. So that's the biggest thing. And then on Facebook, Messenger, Instagram I'm on. Funny, and not right now I'm doing show season only. So I'm not taking any orders, but during the year I will. I'll take a wait list.
Sure. Well, that's cool, man. Hey, I'm glad you reached out to. You sent me a nice email after the podcast I did with the Ridgeways boys, and I love introducing new people and talking to guys about musky fishing and how they got involved with it. Somehow Gus got involved here.
I don't know how.
Exactly. I lost a bet. And that's the thing. Gus, how can somebody get a hold of you if they want to go fishing with you next year?
Yep, 2026 calendar is open. You can reach me at www.sugsfishing.com, SUGS fishing. Or you can shoot me a text or call voicemail at 920-264-3816. And on Facebook, Instagram, which is Sugs Fishing Guide Service.
All right. Well, good deal, guys. Thanks for coming on here. This is going to go up this week before Thanksgiving so people can eat turkey and think about you and all that wonderful stuff. And thanks for coming on. Again, Mike Conklyn. Mike, where did you go?
Mike is gone. Oh, no.
I think Mike just said, you know what? I'm tired of looking at your gap teeth and your smelly nose. I'm out of here.
I wanted to give my thanks to you guys. Thanking Mike for making this sick glide bait. Thank you, Gregg, for putting me on the podcast randomly tonight.
Yeah, I like random stuff.
Random's good.
But yeah, guys, remember, if you sign up for the Patreon, you still got time this week to do it. Only $8. You can cancel anytime. You'll get entered in the drawing for the double flap from Bomb Squad. They're only going to make about a couple hundred of them this year. So
double flap. That sounds. I did not know they were going to make that.
They're making a double flap tail. It looks really cool. Sounds really cool.
Can you sign me up for it, Gregg?
No, if you sign up for the Patreon, it's $8. Just sign up one time. Jesus Christ. Mike just texted me here. Lost connection. Well, Mike, that's fine. So, guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Gus, stay on for just a...
Mike's coming back on.
He's trying to. He's just a spinning wheel here of disaster. Hi, Mike.
Hey.
I was just telling the guys, thanks for coming on and stuff, and just stay hooked up with me.